back to my channel. You are tuned in with 50 Shades of Day. It's your girl Day here, and I'm back at it again with another freaking video. Okay, so today I'm going to tell a story, and it's not going to be funny. Not one of those. It's one of these serious moments. If you guys follow me on TikTok, then you guys seen this video. But if you're not, what are you doing? Stop what you're doing. Follow me on TikTok at DAIILY.D0SE. Anywho, if you guys follow me on TikTok, you guys saw this video right here. And a lot of you guys had questions in the comment box. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little story time on that situation and just explain to you guys what I meant by I almost died. I might be dramatic when I said that, like, you guys read that title right, like I almost died, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like I literally got resuscitated and had to be brought back to life. It's not one of those, but I did literally almost die giving birth to my last child. So before I get into all that seriousness, go ahead and follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Bigo Live. All that is in the description box below. It's the Linktree link. So always click on that, and then everything's going to be listed there, because I hate when people are like, I don't see it in your description box. Click the link. Anywho, without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so we're going to kind of skim through my pregnancy. You guys don't know because I didn't do YouTube when I had my last child, but I have issues with my pregnancy where I tend to have high-risk pregnancies. So due to my last son who was born prematurely, they made me go to the doctor every week for heart monitoring to make sure the baby's heart was okay, and also a specialist just to make sure my cervix would stay closed. So I had to be on medication, and I had to insert, you can imagine where, every week for the whole pregnancy. I also had to take a couple medicines so that I wouldn't go into false labor. But one of the weeks, I think I forgot to take one, and I actually went into false labor. So we're going to start from that. So I went into false labor, or active labor, but falsely, maybe like a week prior to Thanksgiving. So when I went through that situation, I had to, let me just adjust this camera right here. I had to go into the hospital. I was having contractions like every 2 to 3 minutes. I was like actually going in labor. So they had to give me some medicine to stop the contractions, just because they wanted me to go past the 34th week, I think. And at that time I was like 30 weeks or something like that. So they tried everything to keep that from happening, which ended up being amazing. Because imagine going to labor and then you can't eat any Thanksgiving food because you're at a hospital. I would have been mad. So they ended up not reducing labor, but reverting it back to, hold on, somebody's calling me. So they ended up reversing and reducing the labor so that I wouldn't have any more contractions. So later on, maybe like 2 weeks passed. I enjoyed Thanksgiving, had fun with my family and all of that. I had an appointment for not the specialist, but my regular gynecologist, and she did a cervix check. Oh no, she didn't do a cervix check. Sorry. The week before, I went to the specialist, and she let me know that my cervix was open at 3 still from when I went into labor, fake labor, false labor, whatever. The week before Thanksgiving. So I was 3 centimeters. So they had me on bed rest, and when I went to my gynecologist on that Monday, I don't have the exact date, but if you guys look at your calendars, the week of December 4th. So that Monday, I went to my gynecologist, and she didn't want to check me because she didn't want to risk putting me into labor. I guess like checking the cervix, the more you check it, the more you can progress in later stages like that. So therefore, she did not want to check me. She was just like, if I don't feel like she needs to check me, then she'd rather not. Which I agree, like, why put me into labor if we're trying to stretch it out as long as we can due to me having pre-labor, early labor, the last child. So fine, no issues. I still go about my business. I enjoy life as is. December 3rd. which is that Friday. December 3rd is my anniversary. Me and my boyfriend been together for blah blah amount of years. Who cares? This story is not about us. but it has a lot to do with me going into labor. So that morning, I woke up and I got my daughter ready for school. But when I woke up, I felt this pop in my birth canal. But I wasn't thinking any of it. It wasn't like a popping and my water broke. It wasn't like it popped and then I got a contraction. It wasn't none of that. It was just like a little pop. And I was like, what is that? So I didn't pay it any mind. I actually just kept with my day. I got my daughter ready for school and got her to school. Fast forward to later on. I'm not sure if I picked my daughter up, but that's not relevant to the story. But around that time, actually I didn't, because I had my mom do it because it's our anniversary, right? And we had plans to go out of town, eat, casino, all of that. So let's fast forward to 5 p.m. 5 p.m. I start getting ready. I start doing my makeup, doing my hair, getting cute or whatever. You know, at 9 months, you don't really want to get dressed as it is. But because it's our anniversary, I guess. So I started prepping and getting ready for that. Excuse me. And so as I'm getting ready now, I get on the phone with my mother. I'm on the phone with my mom like, yeah, so I'm getting ready for this dinner and blah, 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 etc., etc. We're just chopping it up. Good, doing my hair, doing my makeup, nothing much. All of a sudden, in the middle of us talking, my underwear is wet. My underwear is wet. And I had just got out the shower. So I'm like, Mom, I gotta call you back. My underwear is wet. So I literally called her back. And I'm gonna stop holding that phone. But I literally called her back. And when I called her back, I told her, yeah, I just have to change. I think I peed on myself. She's like, you sure you want to be? I said, no, I think I just peed on myself. There's nothing else there. I changed my underwear and they're dry. And she's like, okay, girl. Be careful. So I proceed to walk out the door. I get my fur coat on. I get my shoes on. And I head out the door. Now, heading out the door is freezing. It's winter time. Like I said, it's December 4th. It's winter time. So, therefore, it's a little snippy outside. So what do you do when you get outside to your car? You got to warm your car up. So as I'm warming my car up, now, I'm like, it's taking a little long for the car, you know, the little meter to get to the middle. Let me start cleaning out this car. So I have receipts, I have wrappers, I have all that. So I start digging in the car, cleaning that up. So I go to a dumpster, which is next to my car. If you guys seen my vlogs, you guys see my unit parking spot is next to a dumpster. So I go toss that out. And when I'm reaching to toss it out, what happens next? What happens next? My freaking water broke. Literally, like, if it didn't break when I changed my underwear, it broke right then and there, because all I felt down my long dress, I had on a long maxi dress. Let me rewind. I had on a long maxi dress, a fur coat, and some Converse. So obviously I had a lot of skin feeling. So I felt something gushy and wet and warm go down my leg. I said, oh my gosh, I know you lying. I know you lying. This is not happening right now. I did not get cute to go to labor. So, Kaiser, kind of, if you guys have Kaiser, you guys know when your water breaks, you have to call them and just let them know so that they can prep. It just makes it easier for when you get in the hospital. You don't have to fill out any paperwork, documentation. They know you're coming. They warn your doctor, so if your doctor's not on call and at home in their PJs, they can prep them to come. So I call them and I let them know, hey, my water just broke. I'm about to change and head over there. So she's like, are you contracting? I'm like, no, I'm not contracting, but a lot of water came out and I'm about to change and head over there. Mind you, I live in Stockton and my closest delivering center for Kaiser is in Modesto, which is like 2 to 3 cities away. My closest Kaiser partner is in Stockton, where I ended up delivering, but we'll get there. So I head over to Kaiser and, oh, sorry, let me rewind. I'm still on the phone with the nurse. So she tells me, you know what, since you're not contracting, this is not your first child. If you feel like you need to come directly here, come directly here. But if you're not feeling in pain, if I was you, girl, I would get something to eat. She was cool, girl. Miss Nurse thing was cool. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just go get something to eat and then I'll come straight there since I live in Stockton. By the time I get food and come, it'll be about an hour or so. Maybe I'll start contracting by then. So she's like, okay. So I feel like, not contractions, but I can feel a little bit of pressure in my birth canal. I don't know, YouTube be really picky with words that I use, so I'm trying to use the right words. But anyways, I felt a little pressure or whatever, but I did not feel like contraction. I didn't feel any pain. My back was aching a little bit, but you know, you're 9 months pregnant, you got a baby in your stomach, you're literally walking like this 24/7. So nothing of it. We went to Chick-fil-A. Y'all know how them Chick-fil-A lines be. I ordered ahead when I left Stockton, and I still had to wait when I got there. So that just tells you something. And my next Chick-fil-A is 30 minutes away, like closer to the hospital. So anyways, we pull up, we eat our Chick-fil-A. I eat me a nice mac and cheese with some nuggets and some fries with that Chick-fil-A sauce and that Polynesian, baby. If you have not tried that combo, try it. But yeah, so I eat all 3 of those. I'm drinking my lemonade. My boo's eating his food. We just eating it up. We go inside. They do our COVID test. Well, they didn't COVID test me. That's a key fact in this story. They did not COVID test me, but they did COVID test him. So when they did his COVID test, everything came back negative or whatever. I guess the security assumed that they'll do mine upstairs, but they did not. And I guess that's why I almost died, because had they tested me, it might have came back positive and they might have kept me. But anyways, I head on upstairs and I got checked in. They had me change, had me do all the regular smuggler things you do when you check in. I go lay on the bed. They do an ultrasound. They check my cervix. When they check my cervix, this is where I get irritated. They check my cervix and this man tells me I'm not dilated at all. What do you mean I'm not dilated at all, sir? I literally just came from the doctor, like going into false labor, and I was 3 centimeters dilated. And I'm no doctor or no scientist, but correct me if I'm wrong. Don't want you ovulate, what? Don't want you dilate. You cannot reverse from that. You cannot reverse. They can stop the contractions and they can stop all that, but if I'm not mistaken, y'all can correct me, I probably am wrong, and I'm probably not educated, and that's probably why I feel how I feel right now. But I feel like this man had no clue of what he was talking about, because you can't tell me I'm not dilated, and I was literally 3 centimeters dilated last week. And unless I got some superpowers, sir, just saying. So when he tells me that, I said, are you sure? Because I literally was in the hospital. I explained the whole rundown I just gave y'all. And he goes,
yeah, you're not dilated, and you're not contracting, so we're not going to keep you. We're going to let you go.
So when I changed back in my clothes now, I put on a pad, or I took the pad I had off, whichever way it went, and there was a lot of pink. Not to the point where I was concerned, because obviously if your water just breaks, you're going to start spotting here and there. So I wasn't concerned, but I was just like, are you guys sure? Before I leave this hospital, are you sure? They said they were sure. So I went ahead and I just went about my business and head on home. Now when I get back downstairs, the security's like, you're back so soon? I'm like, yeah, they tell me I'm not in labor, but I'm leaking water everywhere. But I guess I'm just gonna go home and see if I can track within the next few hours. So then I go home and not even go home, I go to the car, and when I'm walking out to the car, even more liquid comes out, like to the point where it's almost all over my pants. So I'm like, oh my God, more is coming out. He's like, do you want to go back up? I'm like, no, they're not going to do nothing. I don't even want to waste my time. And in the comments, I'm going to bring this up. In the comments, actually I'm going to bring it up to the end. I'm gonna like answer some of these TikTok questions at the end. I head to the car and we're driving back, and when we're driving back, we're like hungry now, so we stop at a couple places. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get out because I'm leaking. Let's find somewhere where we can eat. So we go to the store, we buy a steak. We're about to make a steak. We was gonna still have us an anniversary dinner. We buy steak and potatoes. We was gonna make us some steak, potatoes, and vegetables. But then as he gets in the car, I'm like, I'm tired now. I'm out of breath. I don't want to cook. It's been a long night. Let's just go ahead and go home. So we get in the Burger King line and we get us some nice Whoppers, fries, and go home and we eat that. And this is when the Chucky series was going on. So we watched like 2 episodes. I think it was like the last 2 episodes. And maybe halfway through the last episode, I start getting the worst contractions of a lifetime. When I say they were coming fast, they were coming like every minute. Out of nowhere. Every minute. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay, it's time to go. But hold on, I want to see what happens at the end of this Chucky show. Let me see what's happening at the end of this Chucky show. So I literally sat there and watched that last episode. And at the end of the last episode, I get up because I needed to pee. And when I got up, the worst contraction hit my kneecap. It was like electricity. Imagine sticking your finger in a socket while it's wet and your hair is wet. It was terrible. So I literally felt like I was getting electrocuted. I was like, no, let's go to the hospital. So as we're in the car, he's going to get on the freeway, and I said, I'm not making it all the way to nobody's Kaiser. Take me down the street right now. So we literally went 15 minutes up the street to the other hospital, which I did not want to give birth to at because... So now we're on to that. I promise you guys the story's almost done. I know this camera's probably at like 20 minutes. I'm almost done. Now we're going to get to how I almost died. So literally go in the hospital, and I went to the wrong side. And the reason why is because the last time I had a baby here at this hospital, it was like 4 years ago, and I went in the emergency side, and they took me across the street. The security was so rude. It was like, you need to go across the street, and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that, with his little attitude. He was having a bad night. And I was like, okay, thank you. Can you, like, notify them that I'm coming over there? No, just go over there. And he was so dry about it. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Let me just get my little booty and go. So then I went, and I, you know, head over there, whatever. And as I get inside, I'm greeted by the security. I let them know, like, hey, I'm in labor. I need to go to the hospital, like, right now. Like, y'all remember me from a couple weeks ago? Because I went to the hospital when I went in false labor. Y'all remember me from a couple weeks ago? Well, guess what? I'm in labor for real this time. Water broken and everything, contracted and everything. Time to get me ready. So they didn't even really do much but get my name, because they pulled me right up. And they're like, hey, okay, come on. So we go back, and she checks me, and when she checks me, the lady literally checked me. She tells me I am 8.5 centimeters, and it is almost time to push. No time for any anesthetics, no time for anything, no time to think, no time to breathe, no time to nothing. I literally had to call my boyfriend, like, come in right now because I'm about to push this baby. She calls from her little cell phone. I need a nurse and I need a doctor to prep room 1. I don't know. Room 1, delivery room 1, immediately. So I hear footsteps running. I hear a whole bunch of stuff, commotion going on. I didn't know what was going on. They literally wheeled me to the next room. I don't even think they, like, got my IV going. I don't even remember if they got an IV going. So, directly to I almost died. Again, they did not COVID test me. They just shipped me right up in there. So, I'm pushing, and I cannot push this baby out. And there's no water in me left from me being weighted from the time I left Kaiser to the time I got to St. Joseph's. There's literally no water in there. So I'm literally giving birth to a baby dry. They had to, I'll call her right back. They had to literally use baby soap to moisturize down there because it was so dry from my water being broke. So once they did all that and put water and lathered me up, I was able to push the baby out. It took maybe, I got there at 3:55 and I had him at 5:05. So it took like about an hour from the time they prepped me and all that. I think I started pushing around 4:30ish, 4:45ish, something like that. I wasn't pushing that long, maybe like 15-20 minutes. And I got him out and he was born. Now, when I got him out, there's pictures of me, which you guys seen on that TikTok, but if I could find some extra pictures, I will show you guys extra pictures of me right here, where I just looked like I was dead. Literally, my eyes were shot red. Mom, did he FaceTime you? Mm-hmm. So Thomas literally FaceTime my mom. If you guys don't know, my boyfriend name's Thomas. Blah, 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 baby daddy, whatever. He FaceTimed my mom, and she's like, what's wrong with her? Why does she look like that? I literally was bloodshot red in the eyes, discolored. Like, my skin tone, if you guys can see, I'm very brown. I was the color gray. Maybe not gray, but I was not brown. I was like whitish. I didn't have no color to me. I didn't have no flesh. Eyes super red. And the reason why is because the whole time I'm pushing, and mind you, I'm having a migraine. I skipped over that. The whole time I was pushing, what was taking me so long to push was not only was I dry, but my head was throbbing. I couldn't see anything. The lights were really bright. I was having a migraine. And I suffer from migraines, but this was like the worst migraine I ever had. So I'm literally pushing, holding my head like this because I couldn't feel anything. And each and every contraction, each and every push, my left knee had the worst pain. Like electricity, like I was saying. Going through it. So I'm having all that. The headache, the dry birth, the electricity in my left knee, the contractions all at once. It was the worst experience of my life. I don't ever want to do it again. Ever want to do it again. Like, no. I don't ever want to go through that again. But the whole time I was pushing, tell me why they came and did a test afterwards. And my test was positive. My COVID test was positive. Remember back when I said we went to Kaiser and they never did a COVID test? And then fast forward when we came back to St. Joseph and they never did a COVID test? And I have, and that explains why I was experiencing the migraine. I had the vid and I had the Delta variant or whatever, and that one literally gives you a migraine. Like, that's the main symptom they were saying was like the worst headache of your life, and I was literally having it, literally going through that. That's the story. It's not really a long story, but it was too long for TikTok, and every time I would upload it to TikTok it would give me an error, so I just didn't even try it anymore. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer some of these questions that's on TikTok for you guys, because there was a few questions on there that I needed a little answer. Let me turn it down. Oh, they deleted the whole thread. Okay, so there was a whole thread that was basically just asking me, like, how did you almost die? It's just childbirth. It's just clickbait. It was not clickbait. Like, this literally happened to me. I'm still having PTSD about that. Like, I really almost died. Like, my whole experience of birth this last time around really gave me birth control, because I literally don't ever want to do that again, ever. I didn't even have that. I was in a 2-week period in a hospital where I gave birth to my preemie child, where I was in labor for 2 weeks, and I would rather do that again 3 other times than to go back through this last situation. And that's crazy that people say you're doing it for clout, or you're saying the story for clout, or you're not telling the story because you want clout. No, I didn't tell the story because TikTok wouldn't let me upload it, for one, and it's too long, and I don't want to put part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, even though that's what a lot of people do. I just didn't want to do all that. I wanted to get it out the way. I wanted to tell it all in one setting, so that's why I just waited until I got here on YouTube where I could tell an extended amount of story. But thanks to the people who were very encouraging. I was saying like stuff like clout chasing and all that. If you look on all my TikToks, I have no reason to clout chase. I don't even get likes or views. I just post because, and I post sporadically. I do the same on YouTube and I do the same on Instagram. I post very sporadically. I don't gotta post nothing for no clout at all. But that's the story. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for being patient. For the people who asked me this week, like, hey, did you ever put the story out? And I said I'll put it out Friday, but today's Saturday. But I'm gonna have it either out tonight or tomorrow morning for you guys. I don't know. Today's the April 1st, and this is not an April Fool's. So I might post it tomorrow, but this is not a joke. So like I said, thank you again for listening to the story. Thank you for being patient with me. Don't feel the need to, but since we're here on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more content and give this video a thumbs up. That just helps people find more content like mine. Maybe this experience could be an eye-opener for a lot of people who just want to know different things that happen during childbirth. This is one thing that could happen. I am glad my baby was born safe and sound. I eventually got a lot of fluids and stuff like that, and that brought me back during the COVID. I just did basic medicine. They offered me painkillers, but I don't take medicine like that, so I turned all that down. But oh, I do also want to answer this because someone commented this on one of my YouTube shorts, this comment right here, and I totally agree with you. A lot of us colored women, brown women, we don't get the health care that we deserve or that's equal, It's very hard for us to get actual providers who actually care about us. They don't really care about us. So yes, I do think that did play a big part in why I was kind of pushed away the first time. And I'm not really going to put the blame on the second situation, even though I don't like the hospital. They helped me out. They calmed me down. There was a nurse that was really motivating because I was just like, I can't push. Like, it was hurting. It was too late to get a C-section or anything. Like, I had to push the baby out, even though it was the worst time of my life. And afterwards, after they found out I had the ick, they like apologized for like the heck I put them through, because I put them through a lot that day. And I do apologize if any of them ever run across this video for any reason. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm such a nice person. But anyways, that's it for this story. Thanks for watching. Like I said, give this video a thumbs up. That helps people find my content. Subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see you guys in the next freaking video. Bye!